Welcome to the online sessions for the practical videos for the material science and metallurgy. Today we will be seeing for the practical that is known as a rough grinding machine. So what is the aim? The main aim to make the surface of the specimen flat enough. Now you will be saying why we are requiring this thing. Okay, there are many different types of the things where we want to make any of the material flat enough. So for using that purpose, we can go for this rough grinding machine, or the another name of it that is known as a belt grinding machine, belt polishing machine. According to the use, we can use this thing. But here we are going for the grinding purpose, and that is why we are using that the rough grinding machine. Grinding means the removal of the material from the surface of the specimen. Okay, so where we are requiring it? We are having this particular step for the micro specimen preparation. If you want to see any of the material into the particular thing, that is the from the microscope, if you want to study the structure, for that thing this step is highly required. The very first step for that particular process is to make or to select the sample. Cut the sample. While we are cutting the sample, what will happen? They are always uneven surface. So for that thing, what we will be doing? We will be making the surface flat enough so that whenever we place it on the microscope, it will be the perfect placement. There are another reasons also why we are using whenever a corrosion is there onto the particular surface. For removal of that also we can use this rough grinding machine. So these are the areas where we can use this machine. Now what is the basically thing? If the material is not the flat enough on both the sides, then what will happen? Whenever we place it in the microscope, it is a tilted one. What will happen? The light will not get reflected back and it will go in some another direction, and we will not be able to view this particular thing properly. So as a result, to make the surface flat enough, we are going for this rough grinding machine. So principle, it works on the principle of grinding. As I told you, it will remove the surface from the specimen. The surface of the metal or an alloy may have irregularities, and that it should be removed before the preparation of the specimen. So for that also we are using this thing. So whenever the emery belt, emery means it is made up of the silicon oxide, that is the clay material or some type of that material. Whenever the belt is made up of that thing, they are very rough inside. So whenever that metal is allowed to move between the rollers, the belt is allowed to move between the rollers, and when we are holding that specimen, what will happen? The belt will remove the surface of the specimen, which will come in the contact. What are the apparatus? There is the rough grinding machine, there is the apparatus. This is the rough grinding machine on which we are going to perform our experiment. You can see over here the motor is there. It is this motor is help for the power. Emery belt, with the help of that power, what will happen? The one motor, this is your fixed roller and one is your movable roller. So with the help of this motor, what will happen? This roller will start moving. There is emery belt which is located between these two rollers. So automatically, due to the movement of the belt, this fixed roller will also start rotating, and as a result of which, what we will be seeing, our whole this belt will be moving. So what is the next material? Sample whose surface we want to make a flat. So over here we will be holding our specimen over here, and when this belt is moving, when it comes in contact with the belt, the surface which is irregular will start moving, and as a result, ultimately what will happen? If suppose you are having a sample surface like this, when you touch the belt and when we will be placing this sample onto the belt, what will happen? This surface will start getting removed, and as a result, at the end you can see the flat surface you will be getting. So in this way your rough grinding machine is working. So what is the sample? How? If you are having, you can see the corrosion is there on this specimen, and if you want to remove it, so you can see due to the corrosion what will happen? The whole surface is rough. So this uneven surface or this corrosive surface can be removed with the help of this rough grinding machine. You can see over here the specimen has been changed, and the surface which you are viewing, that is the flat enough, so that you can take this surface ahead for that emery paper, and on the emery paper what you will be making? At a microscopical level, whatever irregularities are there, we will be removing from that emery papers. So this is how your rough grinding machine works. And now let us see how we are going to perform this particular specimen or this experiment onto the working of this model. So now we will be seeing on the rough grinding machine how we can go for the grinding purposes.
So this is our real rough grinding machine. Here is the sample which is shown over here. The surface of this sample we are going to make the flat enough for the further use of the microscope to see its microstructure. As we will start on the motor, you can see the roller which is moving, and this roller will help the belt to rotate, and as we place our surface which is to be grinded on the belt, what will happen, it will start removing the metal surface from the point of contact. As you can see, there is a some amount of the metal is shining, so what will happen, it is removing some of the scratches, or you can say the some of the corrosion part is removed. But if you apply excessive load onto the belt, if the excessive load is applied on the belt, what will happen, you can see the motor is rotating but belt has stopped working. You can see over here belt stopped but still the motor is rotating. So during that thing, if your finger comes in the contact with your belt, it will crush away and the blood will might come out. So you should be giving an optimum load so that the belt is moving, and while doing this thing, what will happen, your grinding will take place properly. So this is how the rough grinding machine is going to take place. So as a result of which we can say that this is how we can do the practical on this particular rough grinding machine, and as a result of which we can say the surface which is going to be flat enough, we can do the flat surface of the sample by doing this thing. So this is how our rough grinding machine is working about it.